Professor Salvatore Babones jest naszym gościem. Hello, Professor. You were pointing out yesterday on a panel discussion that we are over here in Europe pretty much focused on our problems, and somehow we don't see the big challenge that is right now facing the global economy, and this challenge is coming from China. In your view, what is the main points we should observe as a journalist, as the economists? Where is the danger and where is the hope in the global economy?
I encourage Europeans to be more outward looking and outward facing. The problems of Europe are relatively minor in the scheme of the problems of the world. Yes, there are challenges to be faced on the European continent, but Europeans are very well equipped to face those challenges. The real threats and the real difficulties for Europe are going to emanate not from these conflicts in the Middle East and Africa. They're coming out of Asia. Asia is now the heart of the global economy. Asia is where most economic growth is occurring in the world today. And as Asian economic growth slows down, the ripples are surely going to be felt in Western Europe and even in Eastern Europe.
One of the problems that China is facing right now is very similar to the problem Japan was and is struggling for decades. It is aging society that is relatively closed. It is much harder to integrate newcomers in the Japanese and Chinese culture than it is in the American, Australian, and even European. Is the culture becoming the next big thing in the economy?
I don't think culture is really the issue here. I mean, the problem is not that foreigners are unwelcome in China. I find that foreigners, especially white, European, American foreigners, are extremely welcome in China. The problem is much more that China's economic policies don't support the flourishing of the Chinese people. It's very easy for Western companies to make money in China. It's very difficult for Chinese companies and ordinary Chinese people to make money in China. And I think it's rather ironic that Chinese government policy tends to be better for us as investors in China than it is for small and medium enterprises in China itself.
So, in a way, Chinese economic policy is building the inequality in that society.
China has rapidly moved from being the most equal country on earth in 1980 to being the most unequal country on earth in 2015. In one generation, the shift is unbelievable. It's staggering, the level of inequality in China. More billionaires are being created in China right now than anywhere else. And remember, China is a country that is still only half as rich as Poland.
And why is it dangerous? Like, on the other hand, China, in the very same time, experienced the rapid growth of GDP. So perhaps the rising inequality is the price we need to pay for the development.
We have an enormous amount of econometric research on this. Inequality is simply unrelated to GDP. The correlation is zero. Now, having high inequality won't harm GDP. I think the current IMF guidance that inequality is a threat to GDP is really a little bit of a stretch. On the other hand, policies that reduce inequality, like high tax rates on the wealthy, like a strong welfare state, these policies also do not harm GDP. There's simply no relationship between inequality and GDP growth.
And why inequality might be dangerous for the economies? Like, we are on FNE, which is we are looking for the new ideas, and we are looking in a very nice neighborhood full of CEOs that are having a good life. So how can we tell them and why they should think that inequality is bad? I mean, it is paying for their house service and good life.
Inequality is not bad for the economy. Inequality is bad for business, especially bad for small and medium enterprises. In countries that have very high inequality, there's enormous concentration of the economy that benefits extremely large companies and excludes small and medium enterprises from the market. I tell business leaders, especially SME business leaders, that although inequality may be good for them personally as CEOs, it is bad for their companies and ultimately is not going to allow them to thrive if it doesn't allow their companies to thrive.
And the very last question, how can we, should we, and how can we fight inequality?
It's very simple. Promoting growth is extremely difficult. We don't know what policies will lead to growth. It's the magic bullet that everybody wants. But policies to reduce inequality, we know very well. High progressive income taxes, taxes on corporate income as well as on individual income, wealth taxes, a strong welfare state, so the government shouldn't just tax and give money away. The government should tax and invest that money in schools, in training, in medical care, in infrastructure, in building road and rail networks. When the government takes from those who need the money least and use that money to develop the country, not simply to give it away, but to develop the country, that's good for everybody.